always stick to the POV of the character you're playing as. So this was like why we're coming into this conversation late, is because you're hearing it when Abby hears it. Merle Dandridge.
This is my first day meeting Merle.
Like Merle and I had so many conversations about how conflicted she was about what that has to happen, and then years later to visit the moment when she was arguing with Jerry. I always like that we get more insight into these characters.
I like seeing Marlene advocate for Ellie behind the scenes because she's so resolved in the first game and the show, and to see that actually privately she was advocating.
And the parallel here with Jerry from the first game is he's repeating everything that Ellie says right outside on the giraffe sequence in the first game, which is like, all the sacrifices we've made, it can't be for nothing. He's making the same exact argument Ellie does. And then Abby walks in to give her dad an out. And Marlene is done arguing, especially in front of his daughter.
Merci.
Je vais prévenir Joël.
Pourquoi?
The ethical thing Marlene does here is like, I have to tell Joel, which is ultimately her fatal mistake.
Yeah.
I guess Jerry's fatal mistake too, that he allowed it to happen.
T'as pris la bonne décision.
She sees how conflicted her dad is, and she tries to tell him it would be okay. I would want you to do it to me. And he can never admit that he wouldn't.
You don't think so?
Well,
I think he would.
That's what I love about this. It's like, but he never says it.
Yeah, he just kind of has that look of...
Maybe he's just glad that it's not her.
Yeah.
Putain, il est encore dans les parages.
Oof.
Abby, regarde pas.
We can't spare any of our characters from seeing the trauma firsthand.
Yeah.
Joel with Sarah, Ellie with Joel, Abby with Jerry. And it's just this shared trauma between these characters, and now events are set in motion. And now we get to see the other side of what happened after Abby kills Joel.
Pitié, fais pas ça! Pitié!
Forget again, this is such a collaborative process. I don't even remember where some ideas come from, if it was editorial or...
I think it was editorial.
Yeah, but to see the scene again from Abby's perspective and now get the fuller context, which is the whole concept of this game of like, you have one notion of how things go down, and then we give you more context and make you question your initial feelings about it.
Hey, oh, qu'est-ce que tu fais? Mani, je fais le ménage.
Remember how hard Pat pushed
Alejandro?
Alejandro?
Il a raison. Il faut finir ce qu'on a commencé.
Yeah, they're all so good, but Pat specifically would just kind of lose himself in these moments.
T'as vu ma gueule? Je l'emmerde ta gueule. T'aurais dû monter la garde là-haut comme je te l'avais dit. Bouge! Recule!
Tu te calmes!
Ou quoi? Recule! Putain!
Calmez-vous!
Jordan! Tu vas me buter.
Stop! C'est fini.
There's your fatal mistake.
done.
Not cleaning up your mess. And now, back to day one.
Abby?
And this is where I think the penny drops for most players that, oh my God, I'm going to have to replay this entire sequence from the other side. This was fun. City of Thieves was highly inspirational for the first game, written by Game of Thrones co-showrunner David Benioff. And I wanted to put it in the game, and I had just started working with Craig Mazin on a TV show, and he's friends with them. I'm like, can you ask them? He's like, oh, of course. And within 5 minutes, I had like a text message like, yeah, no problem, put it in the game.
Là, tout de suite.
Ouais. Vámonos.
Ok.
I love that Abby and Manny are roommates, that they're just bros. Gender means nothing.
It's crazy because when we were filming it, I always thought of Manny as this like really fun loving. He is. He's this really fun guy, right? I hadn't even like registered the fact that he had in that scene, like he had spit on Joel. And so when I played it and he had done that, I was so angry at the character that it took so long to remember that he was a cool guy. A cool guy.
Il devrait décider à ma place.
The irony that Ashley Birch, who plays Mel, has to play pregnant, while you, Laura Bailey, were pregnant.
T'inquiète, on arrive bientôt.
From a writing standpoint, this is hard, because we're introducing a brand new cast of characters that we're asking you to care about, and we're building a mission a quest about Owen that's not really related to the revenge quest you just played half the game with. But there's just a lot of track we have to lay to then get the interesting payoffs. Just showing how close these people that came from the Fireflies are. That despite that they're in a group that's very tribalistic, they have their own tribe within that.
And they can be very upset with each other, but there's a protectiveness of their own group.
This was hard on the dev side of, we captured the scene and we're like, okay, here you see a tower, now you're gonna pass the gate. And then we had to build all this real estate of this drive that's based on how much performance we have from you all.
Oh, God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. And we iterated a lot on just this layout and this turn and like, okay, when should the truck stop? And then they have to add all the secondary motion to you all, like, because we're not an actual truck when we shoot this.
But we all just kind of did this little shimmy shake as we were in that.
But we did shoot this with Roach, the dog.
Roach the dog, we did.
Remember when Roach would come on set?
In his mocap suit?
And in his mocap suit, playing Alice.
And the whole set would just...
Right, fall in love
Just
with
take
Roach.
pictures, just take selfies with Roach.
That's seriously, like, Roach days were just...
They were the best days.
They were the best.
Je leur fais pas confiance. Merci encore, les gars.
Je sais. Manny s'est
Neil, do you remember there was originally a storyline where Mel was actually closer with Jerry because they worked so closely together, and there was like some level of contention, historical contention between Mel and Abby for his affection.
Right.
And we scrapped that because Mel needed to be so likable because she's such a hindrance to Abby's happiness.
Je reste là, t'inquiète. Je me détends.
Nora, est-ce que t'as pu te reposer un peu?
Je pars bientôt pour l'hôpital du quartier ouest. Les ordres, c'est...
Poor Danny. This is where Abby gets such a relief that it's not Owen. Because this whole time there's this dread building that she thinks she's about to see Owen's body.
Où est Owen?
J'en sais rien. Il y a quelques jours, on a repéré des scars près de la marina.
Character model has incredible arms.
Et Owen sont allés jeter
Yes, I was
Incredible
just looking at her arms.
les gardes ont
I
trouvé
mean, everybody talks about Abby's arms, but
Yeah, but damn,
Nora's arms.
Nora's the sleeper.
In this scene, we finally establish what's about to become Abby's next goal, which is rescue Owen. And we come back to the theme of this this series, which is love.
Mais il m'a lancé un regard de tueur et il m'a dit d'en parler à personne.
This is one more example of the tribe within the tribe of she's telling them stuff they should not know. Because she trusts them, she cares for them more than she cares for the wolves, the WLF.
Oui, Isaac.
Now we gotta go see the big man.
Aux dernières nouvelles, il était dans l'immeuble.
It's kind of cool to, again, build this guy up and then give you a glimpse of the person that runs the WLF.
Mets-moi au courant, ok?
D'accord.
Salut Abby,
On doit monter.
Isaac est là-dedans.
Ah,
This was another one of those sequences where we didn't want to be confined to the volume.
Il voulait justement...
If I remember correctly, we mapped out with tape on the floor of like this floor. Then you go into just a marked area that's going to be the elevator, and then you come out, and the whole place is marked differently when you're in Isaac's suite.
Monsieur, Abby et Manny sont là.
And here we have the fantastic and very scary Jeffrey Wright.
Le laisse pas s'endormir.
There's a dehumanization that happens when you're in conflict with another group for so long, and there's so many like retributions that they get to a place where you can't torture them because they're so dehumanized. And we get to see how easy it is for Isaac now that he just sees them as pure enemies.
Problème tous les deux.
Rien de grave de notre côté.
We met
On a eu que quelques
Jeffrey Wright because his son was such a big fan of the first game. And talking to him, I offered him this role, and he was very excited to take it on. So it was fun to work with him, even if a little intimidating at times, just because his gravelly voice is so creepy.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe, chef?
Cette petite guerre a assez duré. Ça peut pas continuer comme ça.
Alors, quoi?
This was another obstacle we're throwing in Abby's way, which is, in the past, Isaac has given her a lot of rope because of how capable she is to pursue Joel. But here, he can't afford to have anybody leave because they're going to go all out to kill every last scar, as he would call it.
On a déjà essayé d'attaquer leur île et...
Pas
I
comme
remember
ça.
in like early iterations of the script having a bunch of scenes, not a bunch, but having scenes with
Il y aura une tempête.
Isaac
On pourra les approcher
where he was
discrètement.
very much a mentor for her and almost like a surrogate father figure
Yep.
as she was growing up.
Those were early versions of the story, or
Yeah.
just in trying to shrink this behemoth down, we end up cutting. But the other thing you could see here is Jeffrey Wright has a limp. And the reason for that is if you look at the concept art, he has an amputated leg.
Je vois que les gars de Salt
And
Lake-
there's no opportunity to really see it, but the limp is still there.
Owen va bien.
And then we did so many takes, and Jeffrey insisted on eating an apple in every take just to make it authentic. So he ate a bunch of apples.
Apparemment pour protéger.
To Laura's point, we wrote scenes. I remember drafting scenes where he's coming in as trying to be sort of a Tommy, like a father figure after she's lost her dad, and you come to realize how intimate their relationship is, but it's something that she will very quickly give up in the face of Owen being in trouble.
Tira tout ça.
And as soon as she connects with Lev, again, she's willing to give that up. But
Cette chance ne se présentera qu'une fois.
couldn't do it for time.
Et c'est plus
You get little hints of it because I feel like our relationship in this scene, you can see that he's given her things in the past. She's
Yeah.
used to being able to.
Get her way.
And that one line, the way he lives it, like, stop gossiping about it. Like, the idea of that you guys need to stop, like, being this, like, Salt Lake City crew. You're part of a bigger group now.
Yeah.
There are things more important.
et on
And even here, he's like saying, when the time comes, we'll do what's right.
Yeah, at this point, you find him to be, I think, torturing aside, like, he's a very fair leader with her. He's given her a lot, and then now he expects her to step up for ultimately, what, a 3-day assault.
The way he behaves, again, this is like we're on a broken record, which is he loves his people. He's going to go commit atrocities because of how much he loves the people that look up to him.
He's gonna burn a village filled with children.
Right?
Owen n'aurait jamais tué Danny pour un scar. Hein? Quoi? Non. Abby, reste ici.
Je serai revenu avant l'aube, couvre-moi jusque-là.
Isaac va te botter les fesses.
Pas avant l'attaque. Il a dit
Abby doesn't care about this assault in the same way that Joel didn't care about finding a cure. It's just about the people that are close to us. And now we head into her head for flashback.
The most fun scenes to shoot.
This was fun, watching you two be so playful.
They were like a little respite from all of the
The horror.
horror that we were shooting.
And again, establishing Abby has vulnerabilities, right? Not just emotionally, but she has a deep, deep, deep fear of heights, which then gives Lev an opportunity to help her.
Just interesting, these characters that here with Owen and then the other time with Joel, when he takes Ellie to the museum, of these gifts that they give the people that they love. And here it's like he brought her to show her this beautiful aquarium as a show of his love.
Well, he's trying to, right, in the same way as Joel after David, he is trying to get back to the Abby that was. He's trying to get back to the dynamic that they had, and he's putting all of his heart into bringing her joy in the hopes that he can get confirmation that that person is not dead.
Il est tard, Owen.
Ouais.
We had these long talks about how Abby, like, is so serious and doesn't want to joke around. She's not a jokester. And I think Pat just like took that and ran, because every single time we would shoot, he would try to make me laugh as we were shooting as like a challenge.
Arrête ou je vais rompre avec toi. Owen!
Je t'ai toujours aimé.
Owen! Oh mon Dieu.
It is like, at this point, Abby also, I think, is trying to be the person everybody wants her to be. She's trying to be the old version of Abby. She's trying to be the loyal soldier to Isaac, who has given them a home and a purpose. She's still figuring out who this new version of her is.
And reinforcing her fear of height.
When we shot that, though, do you remember how pregnant I was?
Remember how terrified I was because you're jumping off this like 2-foot platform.
It had to be. It was higher than 2 feet, right?
3
Tell
feet.
me it was higher than
3
2
feet. But every time you landed hard on the ground, I'm like, oh my God, a baby's gonna fall out of her. This was like a nice, short and sweet little cinematic.
Also a fun thing to shoot when you're like coming up from underwater.
J'en sais rien.
And then I remember you have to do this prep as if you're diving and transition in and out of gameplay.
Uh-huh.
I like these kind of air pockets that would still have remained here. As you held your breath a lot while
Yes.
shooting some of these scenes.
I I love this scene.
Yeah, this whole sequence is for this scene. Like, but poor Owen loves Abby so much, and she's just so stuck with this, well, grief, I guess, that she can't let go. The injustice that she can't let go.
You could argue that what Owen is going through is a smaller version of what Abby is going through, right? Like, he's in love with this girl. He's fixated on her. He's ready to go on this journey with her and risk things for her, and all he wants in return is a little bit of love. And she just can't. She can't. This is just, she's not the person she was anymore.
It's this notion that somehow, if she's happy, she's disrespecting the loss of her father.
Yeah.
J'ai allé trop loin.
Non.
She can't allow herself to be too happy.
Tu es moche.
And he's still trying to make light of it. Look at him.
He's so cute.
C'est mon corps qui te dégoûte.
Patrick Fugit is a very charming man.
Very.
Je suis désolée.
T'as pas à t'excuser. Qu'est-ce qui va pas?
Just let him in.
Je sais qu'on a suivi toutes les pistes possibles. Mais... Mais Joël est là, quelque part.
Je sais.
And we get the sense that this is not the first time they're having this conversation.
No. This is the end of their intimate relationship, right? He's
Yeah.
going to try and move on
This is
with Mel. It's not going to work out.
This is the breakup scene.
Not how he envisioned this moment going, I have
No.
a feeling.
Et toi?
Oh, I kind of this idea, like, look what I brought you. I brought you underwater. What else can I do?
Je vais regarder.
There are seals swimming around.
It's just not enough.
So sad.
I mean, it's very much a parallel to what we see, a much worse version of this in Ellie on the farm with Dina.
Yeah.
Je suis désolée.
Je viens de te le dire. Ne t'excuse pas.
Flashback number 2 for Abby.
Yeah. So this scene also, the sequence had to do a lot of work because we're, once again, resetting. You have to learn where she and Owen are in their relationship, feel that tension, feel the family dynamics.
He's so surprised to see her.
Salut.
Salut. Est-ce que tout va bien?
Ouais.
I love the set, man. The set took so many
Forever,
iterations to get right,
forever.
but it was really important that it felt gorgeous. Justify why this guy has holed up in here for so long.
C'est quoi tout ça? C'est festif.
Et t'as pas encore tout vu.
This is our Christmas episode.
Admire un peu cette vue.
A thing you might not appreciate until you sort of really play this is this aquarium had to meet so many different needs because it's in so many different
Right.
levels. And so to make sure that all of those could work together was painstaking, especially for the layout designers.
Et maintenant, goûte-moi ça. Alors?
La vue est chouette.
Oh, t'exagères. Rabat-joie.
Tu veux que je mente?
Ouais, je préférerais. Elle est à fond sur les trucs de
And
Noël.
again, look at this
et-
effort he puts in.
Yeah, there's a beautiful tension between these characters that still clearly very much love each other.
But he did this for Mel, right?
Yeah,
this is
this
for
was-
Mel.
Right, but look how excited he is that Abby's here.
I know. He's trying to move on.
I doubt he's this excited when Mel's here.
Poor Mel.
But I think
Poor
he
Mel.
wants to be, right? I think he
Yeah.
wants to move on with Mel. He
'Cause
knows
he's-
she's inaccessible.
Well, yeah, Abby's a dead end.
Qu'est-ce qui te met d'aussi bonne humeur?
Qui, moi?
I love that he misreads this. Like he thinks this is somehow about him, and now he's going to convince her to stay. But she's in a good mood because
Quand la lune se
J'ai
lève.
trouvé le frère de Joël.
they found Joel's brother.
Il est dans un camp, dans le Wyoming.
Comment tu le sais?
On a mis la main sur des lucioles qui faisaient partie de son groupe.
Je croyais qu'il avait raccroché il y a une dizaine d'années.
Ouais.
Et donc, ces types ont eu de ses nouvelles récemment?
C'est une piste. Il faut que j'en sache plus.
Ok, mais tu sais bien que même si tu le retrouves, même s'il est là-bas, il saura peut-être pas où est Joël, d'accord?
Right, because at this point, we're already... Canonically, he's already starting to have issues killing scars.
Oui, tout le monde est partant.
And we're not really talking about it, but there's some track getting laid. He's losing his taste for violence.
Prochaine.
I like that he was the last person that she went to go talk to about this.
Isaac est d'accord.
Mon cul, ouais.
Personne ne tient à la justice plus que lui. Il sait ce que Joël a fait. Eh. Je peux compter sur ton aide, pas vrai?
I love that look. It's like, you promised me. If we get like any clue, you promised me. He doesn't want to be the last holdout.
But he's like Jesse. He's never not going to go if his people are going. Oh, the Paris sequence.
This scene.
Oh, yes.
Was this one of the first things we
Yes,
shot?
yeah, because it was for Paris Games
Yeah.
Week.
Paris Games Week, yeah.
We shot this way in advance.
I think it was like a day or two before we shot this that I'm like, we could do this all as one shot. And like I had sketched out like these kind of storyboards real quick, and then came up with this hazy plan with Matt Neapolitan, our cinematographer for this game.
Like take after take of getting dragged by your arms.
This was another one where we actually strung Laura up with, we had like two ropes, one that was around your neck to just give you a little bit of tension that you could lean into as much as you wanted, and then another one that held your body up in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, but man, this was so much work, and like we scrutinized the tiniest details in the scene.
When this came out originally, people thought that she was
Anna,
Anna.
that
Yeah.
she was Ellie's mom.
We were watching the narrative of how Ellie came to be.
And these seraphites that at times you might feel sorry for them, and you see them getting tortured,
And then.
and then see that, you know,
Oh, wait a minute.
here the lead seraphites in the scene is played by Emily Swallow in just Small World. She's of Mandalorian fame, acting along Pedro Pascal. And later we find out this is a bastardization of this thing of like freedom so they may know my love wasn't meant as like disembowel them.
Libère-les. Ainsi ils pourront connaître.
The intro of Victoria Grace plays Yara.
Yeah, this scene has a lot of heavy lifting. It's introducing like two major characters of Yara and Lev. Again, this idea that keeps repeating in this story of like the tribe within a tribe, that even though these are all Abby's enemies, Seraphites, somehow they have it in for these two kids.
And again, this is one of those weird opportunities. I know it sounds dark, but like in seeing the violence against these kids, it's much easier to immediately understand why Abby makes the choices she makes. They may be their enemy, but these are kids getting hurt.
lighting a scene is really hard. Lighting a scene that's one take, where the camera's constantly moving around in 360 degrees and making sure all those angles still look good, is close to impossible. So kudos to our lighting team.
The face change as she, ugh.
The face change, the flow of blood, the water. There's so many things that, done improperly, would take you out of the scene. And then we spent a lot of time, even to the hands right there. I remember we spent so much time making sure you see the tension in the hands as she's suffocating. The shirt, and make sure the shirt felt wet and it's sticking to her skin, and it's a little bit translucent because it's wet. That's the kind of detail that Naughty Dog is crazy about.
Les démons arrivent.
So this is the introduction of Ian Alexander, and a fun thing to watch as you watch his face throughout the game is, I think it was lead character Ashley Swadowski came up with it, but if you look at his scars, one of them is a little crooked and wobbly, and the idea that, like, you see there's physical representation of his hesitation in this religion, even on the scars on his face.
And yet, I think the beautiful thing with him is that he remains a believer all the way through.
Yeah. His faith partly saved him, right? Because he saw the beauty in the intention.
Faites gaffe. La porte.
Another scene that just, I say this over and over, but it's such beautiful, soft lighting.
Right, and so at this point, they've worked together for as long as they need to, but they're off to go on their separate missions. They don't need to be friends.
Aide-moi à enlever ça.
That taking off of the shirt is so hard. I can't tell people how hard it is. The raindrops against this window were difficult. My high school friend has become a renowned plastic surgeon, Jacob Steiger, and he gave me some advice here on this injury and what you would need to do to treat it.
Right, and this is also a reminder that while Abby took a different path, she comes from doctors, from care. She understands the body, even if she never particularly prioritized it.
Victoria and Ian were great in this. Just how Ian has to play both being scared for his sister and just angry at this wolf that he has to work with.
Comment tu t'appelles?
This is a recurring theme throughout both games, that the idea of giving someone's name is a way to show you trust them.
Merci de m'avoir libéré.
I love this theme again.
I like the conflict of leaving them, knowing you're dooming them.
Oh, this is... She thinks, I'll give them the warning and that'll be enough.
Il y a beaucoup de passages dans le coin. Je sais qu'elle est pas en état, mais il faut que vous partiez avant demain.
I don't need your fucking help. The lighting on the hair. This game is still very impressive.
Owen?
This scene turned out to be a bit more controversial than we anticipated.
The irony here is, as much as this is the counterpoint sex scene to Ellie's sex scene, we don't... Oh, I guess we do show a little more.
We show a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, Well, we'll get to that in a second, but
C'est quoi
I
tout
love
ça?
I love this interplay between you
Combien que je
two.
le démonte, si je veux le réparer.
And
Je vois.
yeah, we really wanted to give Pat something meaty,
Sans façon.
and this monologue, which he just, for my money, knocked it out of the park.
Danny est mort.
Of like visualizing this moment where he just can't do this violent thing anymore. It's not him.
Tu peux me dire ce qui s'est passé?
I like that she's been strung up and beaten and almost killed, and
On était
that none of that's
en train de
important right now.
découper un camp. Juste quelques scars et
I just got to come in and sit down and watch him work.
fort. Alors, il s'est écroulé. Son arme était à
And
portée
this
de main.
idea of the tribe within a tribe, and
Mais il n'a pas essayé de la prendre.
there's no secrets between these two.
Au lieu de ça, il me regarde. Et je vois qu'il est vieux.
The idea that he's just been sitting here drinking, conflicted, and I mean, he's about to leave his baby mama. That's how much he can't stay in this place.
D'être pris.
He feels like he's losing his soul. And this look right here, it's like there's a part of Abby that knows what he's saying is true,
Tu es un
but
paquet de
that
scars.
sense of duty to this group that has taken care of them is still there, but starting to erode.
Je pouvais pas. Évidemment, Danny s'est mis à me gueuler
Well, we're
dessus.
watching her maturity in real time.
Je lui ai dit que j'en avais
Especially having come off
marre. Il avait qu'à le
of
faire lui-même.
seeing two Seraphites up close and saving them too.
Alors je l'attrape et
I like that there's so much like unspoken between them that's about to come to the surface of like Abby thinks he's so naive and he thinks what she did was so awful, but clearly they've never talked about it until now. And then there's the underlying love they have for each other and obviously attraction. It's all like, it's so messy. I like the messiness of this relationship.
putain de territoire dont j'ai plus rien à foutre.
And it would have been like, I know our goal here is to create empathy for Abby, to show you the other side of this journey. And this definitely was a risk to say, okay, she's going to
Bah, à cause du
have a
venin.
sort of affair with this guy that got this other girl pregnant, her friend.
Non, les lucioles
But
sont pas là-bas.
this primal thing that's going on between them just overpowers logic.
C'est une piste.
And to me, that was more important to create empathy, is to show how human they are than to just make them righteous or right the whole time.
No, they're trying to define good in a gray world.
Et pour Mel?
And that means they have to make messes.
This little pause, that's a nice bit of acting.
Elle est en sécurité ici.
C'est ça. On en reparle demain quand t'auras des cuvées.
Fais pas ça.
Faire quoi?
Me traite pas comme un cinglé. Je sais que tu penses
He
comme moi.
knows her more than she knows herself.
Si les lucioles sont vraiment à Santa Barbara, je préfère me barrer dans la
And the
direction
resentment
opposée.
that she has for the Fireflies, because in her mind, that's part of the reason her dad died, is
They failed her.
they failed in every way.
Yeah.
Désolée d'être adulte. Tu devrais essayer.
It's just the insulting and just
Ah oui, comment je fais ça, Abby?
and this notion that's like your best friends can hurt you the most.
Les massacrer? Je pourrais les torturer jusqu'à ce qu'ils pissent le...
And the flash of violence here, of anger, is like Abby never talks about it, but clearly she is haunted by what she did to Joel.
Yeah. And he's finally seeing that.
Yeah, and then once they touch, it's over.
Abby.
I think they're both incredibly lonely characters.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in this other relationship, but clearly he's lonely, and he's been longing for her. And I know people ask this question: why show this? Why you could end the scene right here?
I disagree, though.
But I disagree as well, because I think it's important to show the
conflict.
vulnerability, how vulnerable these characters can be with each other. But there's also, again, it's messy and dirty and loving, and a little violence at the same time.
My philosophy on sex scenes is you should take them to the point where you've gotten all the information needed or the emotional evolutions needed. And in this case, I think you needed to see her conflicted and give in.
Yeah, surrender to the moment. This was a concept we came in quite late of showing a nightmare. But showing that now that this nightmare that she's having about her dad is now switched. And this like burn that Owen has on his back, this was another Ashley Swedowski idea that like we do environmental storytelling, we could do stuff on the body through scars or disfiguration that tells you a story.
I love that at her core, Abby is a protector.
Mm-hmm.
She's Joel.
She's Joel.
Yeah.
Right, so now the dread, she's too late.
Faites pas un pas de plus. C'est moi.
I like the change that Lev goes through here. Like, he's relieved to see her, and he's ashamed that he hasn't been able to protect his sister.
I really like her trigger etiquette. She took her finger off that trigger as soon as she heard his voice. Classy.
Good job, Laura.
Good
Thank
job, Laura.
you.
There's this little bit of storytelling of the jacket on top of her, that now she's feverish. Sometimes we get these unintentional parallels. Like this one comes to mind of Ellie in Winter needing medicine for Joel.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is about to become a goal for Abby and Lev.
I think that one of the things about this game that I like is it just keeps reminding you in how many ways we are fragile.